Minshew was on the field, as if they're kind of rallying around this guy. Like, this is like a little blue-collar story that everybody wants to root for. If Leonard Fournette, and I believe you've told us he has, one more year after this before he become a free agent? I believe it'd be his 4th season in the NFL after this?
Yeah, this is his 3rd season. This is his 3rd season under contract.
So what that leads me to ask is, if Minshew plays well enough that, say they win 3 of these games, do you think the decision of whether or not he's the quarterback moving forward influences the decision of guys such as Chark on the receiving core and Fournette in the run game as to whether or not they want to stay? Or do you think that if Nick Foles remains the starting quarterback, that it kind of puts a little bit of a sour taste in the back of their head as to whether or not they want to be with this team moving forward? How important is the quarterback?
Tonight. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he is. He's getting there.
That's a great question. I hadn't thought about it in that term, this kind of term, or in that situation. But I do know this. I know that everybody likes Foles. They're supportive of him. I really think they love Minshew, and that I don't think it's one or the other. I just think it's their personalities that are different. I think that it has a lot to do with the chemistry that was built over 8 games. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he's charismatic. He is fun to be around. He just exudes confidence. And I'm not saying anything negative against Nick, because Nick exudes confidence. He's a great leader in the locker room. He's a great leader in the huddle. Guys tend to want to work after practice with him, those things. It's just a different type of situation. And I think that when you have a guy who is from Mississippi, who is the rags to riches story, who's a 6th-round draft pick, who, by the way, is in the same draft round as Tom Brady, and people have made the comparison of
right.
the guy that rises to the top and all those things. It's contagious. I wasn't convinced at the beginning of the season that Leonard Fournette would be here after 4 years. Now I'm convinced that he has a real good shot at them picking up his 5th-year option. I think that the more that the younger crowd, and then, by the way, this will segue into what I was talking about with the building the franchise. When you have a younger generation, because Coughlin explained it last week, that they have players that they want to build around, that becomes a rallying cry.
Right.
We're going to be honest about it. Marcel Darius is not going to be here next year.
Right.
It's possible that I believe that Marquise Lee is not going to be here next year. Brandon Linder is going to be asked to restructure. A.J. Boye may be asked to restructure. Avery Jones may not be here next year. There's a bunch of players. Andrew Norwell probably will be released. There are a bunch of players that you see on this roster right now that'll be playing somewhere else next year. I do think they find a way to keep Calais because they need a cohesion in the locker room. I think that also helps them re-sign Ngakwe. But there's just something about it, Lewis, that you want to play. You want to play for both of them, but for right this moment, playing in the aura of the mania and the pizzazz, and you just want to go, oh yeah, that type of Randy Savage kind of excitement, you can't help but want to be part of it. And I'm not saying that if they decide to go it's Foles next year and they're winning, players aren't going to want to play here. I think it has a lot to do, too, with the staff that they bring in, as well as who stays and who goes.
All right, so let me ask you a few questions here. Number one, okay, and make this a short answer because I've got another one that I'm going to hit you with. Give me the 5 players to build this team around with the new regime.
New regime, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the quarterback off purposely because I don't know what's going to happen next year with the new regime based on the quarterback. But I'm going to say you definitely want to keep Josh Allen and Ngakwe because you got 2 rush ends. You want your right tackle in Jawan Taylor because you have to have a steady offensive line. I think you keep DJ Chark because I think he's going to be phenomenal in 3 years. He's going to be one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL. And then the 5th is a toss-up, but I'm going to go A.J. Boye because you got to have somebody in the defense. He is a strong cornerback. I'll do 5A and 5B. I'll do him or Ronnie Harrison because you're going to need a hard hitter no matter what, and then you build the pieces around it.
All right. Well, I see no Leonard Fournette sighting in there.
No, because I think that they keep him. I think he's still a building block, but I also think running back is the one position where they can sign somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's a fair statement.
Denver's done it well. Patriots have done it well. Dallas did it well for a while. Teams that rise, they find running backs. Pittsburgh did it for a while before Le'Veon Bell came along. teams that are successful are able to find running backs to plug and play well.
Okay, so David, with that said, tell me what the quarterback room is like when you have Nick Foles and Gardner Minshew. There's no animosity between the two, or do they work well together?
No, they work really well. I know that you guys got the release from Minshew's press conference.
Right.
That kid, and I say that with respect. I mean, I'm old enough to be his dad. That kid respects the hell out of Nick Foles, and Nick Foles has done well to take him under his wing, has talked to him, has helped him succeed. Like he said, they want to win. I mean, above everything else, yeah, you want to start. They want to win, and it's not one player and 21 others on the field. It's 22 players playing. There's a nice camaraderie. It's like a brotherhood. It's respect. I know that Minshew was very critical of the fans for booing Foles when he was playing poorly. I think that kind of relationship is great. I wonder whether it changes next year a little bit. I'm not saying good or bad.
Right.
There's a competition. Both men are competitive. This year, Foles was a clear starter. We didn't even know if Minshew would make the roster. Now Minshew is out playing the veteran, and maybe there's more of a, I don't know what you want to call it. There's more intensity in the way that Foles prepares in the offseason to come in. I don't know that answer because I don't play the game.
Well, but competition will undoubtedly motivate somebody, and that's what we have here, a much more formidable competition than one perceived at the beginning. I knew that Minshew, based on the fact that we were both there, listened to every executive on the planet talk from Marone to Caldwell to Coughlin. They were high on the guy. I mean, he's a feel-good story. So with that said, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say something real quick. Remember when right after they announced it, and we got him on the teleconference, and he was Joe Cool.
Right.
And I had this image of him talking to me with a pair of shorts on and a beer in one hand and the sunglasses in the other, and we all left right after we hung up, and there were multiple guys in that scrum saying, "Oh God, I love this guy." Mm-hmm. You can't help but like it.
Right.
I mean, you just can't help. It's amazing. Oh, and my girlfriend thinks he's hot.
Well, that's all right. Well, hey, listen, you know what? For a 6th-round pick with a humble attitude, that's what it is. So, all right, with that said, let's talk about Tom Coughlin. Okay, let's just say there is a new regime in place. How will the Jaguars replace Tom Coughlin?
Okay. I'm going to say this now. I know we've talked about this for the last couple of weeks, but for some reason in the back of my head, I've been talking to a few other people, I see a scenario where he's staying, and they find another head coach.
Okay.
I really do.
All right.
And I don't necessarily agree with it, but then again, I'm not the one writing the checks, and I'm not the one making the decisions. If they get rid of the entire regime, then they have to find somebody who fills the slot. Now, does he fill the slot of general manager and player personnel director? Do they decide that they're going to keep the same position that Tom held? Because there wasn't an executive vice president of football operations before he got there. And then they created it. And then they had general manager, and everybody fell in line. It was Tom, it was Dave, it was the head coach and the coaching staff, and everybody else fell in line. So do you pick somebody up who has the same kind of mentality, and you go that way, and you find a head coach that will buy into the system? Because let's be honest, he's in his 70s, and he's set in his ways, and he's hard to work with at times, from what I understand.
Right.
And he's Tom Coughlin, and he built a winner in Jacksonville in the 90s, and he came back, and everybody thought he was going to build a perennial winner because he won 2 Super Bowls, and it hasn't worked out.
Right.
So if you keep him, you got to find a head coach that will buy into his system, which means you got to find somebody who thinks like he does. I don't know anybody out there right now, so I'm thinking they clean house, and if they do, you bring in Scott Pioli, who was with the Patriots and the Chiefs, and if that's the case, do we make a phone call and say, hey, Josh McDaniels, Blake Bortles isn't here anymore. Come play with Gardner. Come play with Nick. Come help us win. Or do you go another route and you say, okay, I want to find somebody who has experience recently. So do I look at the Rams that were successful last year? Do I maybe go out west to Seattle and see what they're doing because their front office is successful? It's finding the right fit. Right. And I don't know as far as what their structure will be. But whoever replaces Tom Coughlin is going to have to go like a complete 180. It's going to be the antithesis of everything that he has built.
Okay, we got a few minutes to go, so I'll let you get to this point. How quickly can this team get back to the 500 mark or better?
Tom was asked that question. I know you saw the press releases, and I think you probably saw the video. And he was asked,
right,
how soon he liked the team's makeup. He liked the fact that they were continually going out there and trying to practice and putting in the effort. And one of the writers asked, how soon do you think it can be that they can get back to 2017? He says, I think it can happen quickly. I think it can too, but I also think the dynamic's going to change, the roster especially. You can knock off maybe 10 names right now and know that they're not going to be there next year. So the core that they have to make sure that core is successful. I think in another 2 years, if they kept the same game plan that they kept in 17, added pieces around Minshew, kept the defense fairly intact, but changed the scheme, because I don't think the one high safety is going to be something that we're going to use next year. I don't think we're going to play a zone defense. I conceivably can see them bringing in a defensive coach who goes to a 3-4. Hey, Ron Rivera, if you're out there and you're listening, please come to Jacksonville. But anyway,
that's funny.
I just see there being a major change, but I do think that it's a 2 or 3 year process.
Right.
Also, remember that teams in the division, they're all beating each other up, but they're all better than they were last year. Even with Andrew Luck gone, the Colts are a better team overall. I'm real impressed with what they have done with that. The Texans are still really good because of their quarterback play and their offensive weapons. And the Titans, and although I really am not a Titans fan, they're one of the better teams in the NFL, and they, going to run, they can make noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I give Frank Reich the credit out in Indianapolis, doing a great job with Jacoby Brissett under adverse circumstances, losing Andrew Luck, but at least they had a good backup plan in place. And I think that's the key. You got to have a good backup plan in place, and indeed Indianapolis did that. So all right, so let's look ahead to Sunday. You and I are planning to broadcast live from Jacksonville. What are some of the stories we're going to be following this game? We're going to do an over-under of how many interceptions that Phillip Rivers can throw. And are you going to need a...
If you're doing over-under, how many times I called them San Diego, not Los Angeles?
Yeah, I was waiting. That was the next thing I was going to ask you. Boy, I was telling my buddy Chris Roberts in L.A. today, GMTA. You know what that stands for?
No, go ahead.
Great minds think alike. Geez, none of you guys get...
Okay, great.
Yeah, I actually had to text Robert's head, too, because he liked it. So,
Yeah.
I'll drill it in your ear. I'll drill it in your ear a little bit more too. So that we'll be able to do it. So so we'll talk about those two things, and just folks, as the program and the network changes and evolves, and I look to make it better. After football season is over, not only will David give us periodic updates on the Jaguars, but we're going to try to move him around the network a little bit for different shows. One of the things that I'm looking forward to doing is bringing in the baseball show. No, Lewis, don't say anything because we'll miss our next guest, but that's one of the ideas, that you'll be able to make lateral moves on different shows as well. So I want to keep...
As long as it's not barrel racing, I'm game. So we're down.
Well, we're not asking you to broadcast any pickleball games either. We're all bound to have a couple of broken wrists, but I'm not going to get into that situation. So, we're going to keep, or our goal here, David, is we're going to keep you busy year-round. And
thanks a lot.
We will. No, we've enjoyed having you here. Welcome addition to the program. Any closing thoughts,
All right.
Lewis?
No, I mean, let's...
Real quick, Lewis, what's the score?
Oh, I don't have any electronics out right now, so I can't tell you.
I'll write it down. What do you got? I'll write it down.
For Thursday night, Cowboys-Bears? Well,
no, for Sunday, who wins?
Who's Jacksonville playing again?
The Chargers.
Oh, you're going to get Father and I and Phillip Rivers. I mean, look, That game against Kansas City the other day was ugly. I think Minshew's out there. He's going to help him. I'm going to say I'll go 27-21 Jacksonville. They get they get a fifth win.
You know what? I'll go 21-17 in favor of Jacksonville. What about you?
I'm going to hurt you guys, and I'm sorry. I want to win. I desperately want to win. Something tells me Phillip Rivers is going to own them. I'm going to say 2017 Chargers.
Well, you and I had the same score, just for other teams.